What's up, Men's Physique fans, and welcome back to another video. We are officially 2 weeks out from the Arnold Classic, which will be the official kickoff of the 2025 season. And we have some recent updates for some of those competitors who will be walking across that stage in Columbus. And we officially have word from our three-time champion in Brandon Hendrickson that he will not just be setting his sights on the Olympia stage, but instead he wants to rack up the titles. And in order to do so, he's gonna have to go against Aaron Banks and go against Ali Bilal, a guy who is making a name for himself. And he has some words for Ali Bilal. So let's sit back, relax, and enjoy this video.
Grapevine, but I ain't hearing nothing great. No, they wanna take it all from me, so I give what it takes. Whole life been a miracle, seen everything but a cape. Why would I stop now? Found everything on a journey, but another way. Look.
Diogo might just be one of the most underrated men's physique athletes of all time. He has one of the best structures in men's physique history and brings consistent conditioning. Now, the only reason that he is not necessarily continuously winning the bigger shows is because of the shallow midsection that he has. And a lot of times people think that his midsection simply is because he's not conditioned enough. That is not the case. And it's more of a genetic trait that he has that doesn't allow the pop to stand out. And if he doesn't nail his peak perfectly, then it's going to be very hard to see the detail that he has through his midsection, even though his conditioning is spot on. And if you look at his looks back in the 2022 Arnold Classic, he absolutely nailed his peak. And he was separated, detailed in every single, aspect of his physique. But the difference between then and now is this simply just added more muscle, which exaggerates his structure, his shape, and if he can peak perfectly, it's just going to be absolutely insane. And you can clearly see the differences in size in these updates that you see here compared to, back in the 2022. But again, these recent updates from Diogo, the conditioning, the pop, the fullness is something that I haven't ever seen from him leading into a show, and it's making me excited. I'm so excited to see what he does at this year's Olympia, because I'm telling you guys right now, it's weird to say that he's a dark horse, but people aren't really talking about him for the win. But I'm telling you, you guys need to start talking about him for a potential winner of the 2025 Arnold Classic. In years past, Aaron Banks typically took a Dorian Yates-like approach when leading into a show. He didn't necessarily show raw physique updates. If anything, he really just showed teasers of his physique. But this prep, it's different. You can see the confidence radiating because he has been posting so many updates day in and day out, and he is not hiding a single thing. And for good reason, because this might just be the best version of Aaron that I have ever seen. The fullness, the conditioning, the detail, the back. That was even something that needed to improve, but that might be the most improved muscle group on his entire body. And if you look at some of these updates, I think you have to agree, the midsection, right? That has always been the glaring focus simply because of who he stands next to. The Ali Bilals, the Ryan Terrys, the guys who are so detailed and separated. But this has to be the most separated version of Aaron Banks that we have ever seen. And with 2 weeks still to go, we can only imagine how much better that he's going to improve. So get your popcorn ready, because Aaron has made it very, very clear that he is not coming for second place. He wants his title back, and he's going to do anything he needs to get it. And a guy who was actually known for consistently updating us on his physique throughout a prep, Ali Bilal, and he is looking absolutely insane. We know that he is going to bring elite level of conditioning, and if anything, we know that he's going to bring the best conditioning on any given stage, maybe outside of the Olympia. But we have to add the fact that he has added tissue in such a short amount of time, making his chest look fuller, his arms look fuller, and of course his back, which has been a glaring weakness for him, especially when paired next to Emmanuel Hunter, Aaron Banks, Ryan Terry at the top of the top at this current moment. But will his back be enough? That's the question that's circulating right now, because we know that he's going to expose people through his detail throughout his midsection. I mean, let's be real, that is his calling card. And that polished look that he had at the Olympia, it was so much of a glaring separation between him and everybody else. Even Ryan Terry, like his polish was insane, which had him in the conversation for the win in the first place. But again, if he can match that with the added size and more density through the back, we have to admit, it's going to be very hard to beat him. And that's the thing I love about this Arnold Classic. I just listed off 3 guys who could truly win this show. Like, this isn't a necessarily favorite. Yes, Ali Bilal did place higher than Aaron Banks at the Olympia, but Diogo also didn't step on stage at that Olympia. And the last time we saw him at the Arnold Classic in 2024 was a wild look. So if Diogo improves, if Ali improves, if Aaron improves, which if you have eyeballs, you can see on their social media, it looks like they've improved. If that can translate to the stage, guys, I don't even know who to take right now. You know, this is absolutely going to be an insane show. I cannot wait to be there front row. And this, as a fan, is all we can ask for. The guys bringing their all-time best, and I truly cannot wait to see what they bring to the Arnold Classic, because I will be there front row and center, and I will make sure that I bring you guys all of the content. So get your popcorn ready, guys. This one's going to be a movie. The last time we saw Bhuwan step on stage was the 2023 Olympia, where he placed 16th place. And he has made it very clear that he is tired of just making it to the Olympia, but instead he wants to climb the ranks to stand up there in the first and second callouts with some of the best in the world. So what did he do? He decided to take off the 2024 season in order to focus on improving his physique in order to be competitive and go head to head with those top dogs. And recently he posted some off-season updates that has me thinking that he might just be able to do it. Size has always been the focus for Bhuwan. He has a very clean, polished men's physique look, which allows him to win shows. But in order to be one of those top guys, he did need to take that step back in order to take multiple steps forward. And I've had the opportunity to train with Bhuwan during his growth phase, and this is exactly what he said about his time in his offseason.
I was just getting in my head, I'm like, okay, I've so long, like offseason, how do I stay motivated, and like, how do I like, because everybody's Olympia prep. And I'm like, fuck that, I look like I'm like fluffy and I can't see my abs. So the way I thought about it is like, think about it as when I was in school, I was doing my engineering. It was a 4-year program. Each semester has a GPA. Cumulative GPA is at the end of your degree, and then you get a job. So for me, I need 12 pounds of muscle. You need 13, 12, whatever, right? I'm taking 3 pounds per year, average. That's like a 3.5 GPA to aim towards. One semester can be a little bad. Like last year was a little bad. It's okay. I get to make up this year.
I like that perspective, bro.
And that quote and metaphor has stuck with me because it's actually something that I've implemented in my own career. You know, making sure that I don't rush it and prioritize the long game. So again, always taking nuggets of information from those who have been a part of this for a long time, and that's definitely Bhuwan. But I'm telling you guys, Bhuwan is very dangerous. He is the pride of India. He's somebody who literally has a whole country behind him. So if this man starts to climb those ranks, I'm telling you guys, India's going to get louder and louder and louder for good reason. So I do hope to see Bhuwan take over here in 2025 because I'm confident that this man is going to be a very dangerous athlete across any stage. Aaron Banks, Brandon Hendrickson, Ali Bilal, Vitor Chavez, Edvon Palmero, Andrei Ferguson, Carlos Ocran, Jeremy Potvin, and now officially Andrei Dayu. Are you serious? This is going to be the craziest Pittsburgh pro in history. Andrei Dayu has taken massive steps back from bodybuilding. From my understanding, I believe the last time he stepped on stage was maybe the 2023 season, the Olympia or the Texas Pro just before the Olympia. I'm not even sure if he qualified that year. It's been so long, but all I can remember was just how crazy his physique was. His arms, his chest, his shoulders, you know, maybe things that aren't necessarily men's physique, but when you look at the physique by itself, absolutely insane. And over the last couple of years, he's actually taken off from bodybuilding. He's actually removed a lot of the PEDs and from his own words has gone completely natural. And if that's the case, then I can only imagine how responsive his body's going to be when he actually gets back on the compounds. But we aren't that far away from the Pittsburgh Pro. So we're going to be seeing some updates from Andrei Dayu, a guy who is known for posting a lot of updates, especially with his social media presence, on whether or not he's actually going to be doing the show, and more importantly, how his physique actually trends with getting back on, and will he be competitive or not. But the excitement from just this thought alone is through the roof, because Andrei Dayu is not only just a previous men's physique athlete, but he was a top 5 men's physique athlete, a guy who came on the scene while he was coached by Hani Rambod. It's absolutely dominating, you know, very quick rise from just a social media influencer to a top guy at the Olympia. And now with clean receptors and hoping, you know, some motivation, who knows what this man's going to do. And stepping on the Pittsburgh Pro stage to start that comeback would absolutely be absolutely insane and give us a very clear understanding of where he stands with the current day and age of men's physique. And another guy who I've always been extremely impressed with his physique, a guy who I never understood why he didn't compete more and more and more, that is making his comeback in the 2025 season, is Javier Mullins. Javier has always been a bigger guy. So my thought was potentially he was too big for the men's physique division, needed to take some time, maybe even stop bodybuilding for a while, but clearly is showing some dramatic improvements. I'm so excited for this guy to be stepping back on stage, and he's doing so with a new coach. He used to be previously coached by Cuts, and he brought amazing packages when coached by Cuts. But now he's being coached by Callum Rushrick out of Pro Coach. And again, a guy who absolutely brings guys like Mitch Starr, Tyler Smith, this inside out peeled individuals. And with Javier Mullins, a guy who's just naturally bigger, if they match those levels of conditioning, oh my God, that's going to be extremely dangerous. So I'm excited to see what his comeback looks like in the 2025 year, because when he stepped on stage, I believe he was like 10th or 11th place at the Olympia. Like, he's been in those second call outs. He's been, you know, standing next to these top guys. You know, he's won shows. So I'm excited to see what he does in the 2025 season. In a recent podcast hosted by Jay Cutler, Brandon Hendrickson was a guest, and on that episode, he spoke very confidently about his comeback, announcing the fact that he's not just doing Pittsburgh, but he's also doing New York.
You know I'm doing New York and Pittsburgh too, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that did you announce that already, or?
Now I did.
Yeah.
I was literally gonna say, do you want to announce it? We didn't want to say it, but
I already registered and everything.
And in those shows, he's going to be going against Ali Bilal. And in the podcast, he also hinted at a few things on why he believes he can expose him. So let's play the video.
You got second to Ryan. That's not the same Ryan now, right? I mean, he's kind of improved.
Man, to be honest, when he won his first one, yes, he
was really good that year, right?
The next year, it wasn't the Ryan.
I know, but is it Ryan because that guy Ali was that much, like, he was the surprise in second place?
Could be.
Like, he's got crazy intercostals and
crazy, but I know how to
his
expose
back is not as
that, and his
quality,
waist is
right?
really big.
Okay.
So I know how to expose him. Ryan Terry is the guy to beat.
All right, guys, so there's a lot to dissect here, but I'm going to do so pretty quickly. So in the beginning of that segment, Brandon said that Ryan looked absolutely phenomenal the year that he won. But the year after that, which was this past year, he didn't look his best. And I'm curious to know whether or not Brandon thinks that if he competed at this year's Olympia, whether or not he would have won. Because I was on record saying if the best Brandon showed up against this year's, you know, athletes at the Olympia, I think he would have won. I'm curious to know what you guys think. If Brandon competed at the 2024 Olympia, would he have won? But I guess we'll never know. But fast forward to the end of that segment, you heard Brandon simply said, I can expose Ali Bilal. The reason for that was because he mentioned was that Ali had a wider waist and that he didn't have enough development in the back. Now, Brandon has never been known for being uber developed in the back, but very complete everywhere else, and is very similar, I guess, to Ali Bilal. But, you know, I used to think that Ali had a bigger waist, but I think men's physique and just posing in general is really about manipulation. And I think that Ali Bilal manipulates his waistline like some of the best in the entire world. So I don't want to say he does have a wider waist than some of the other guys, but on the stage in his front shot, it doesn't necessarily look like it. You know, I think he still flows very well from, you know, his hip line all the way up to his lats, and then the fullness in his arms. You know, he does need more fullness in his chest, but we've already talked about how we look like he's improved that. But I think his front shot is one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world. Well, Brandon didn't compete last year, and I do think he has one of the best front shots. But again, for another conversation. Now, he also mentioned, again, the development in his back wasn't up to par. Now, I'm curious, man. And when I look at muscle group to muscle group, you know, I do think Brandon would edge him out, but there's just something about Ali's polished look that really allows him to stand out. So I'm very curious to know what you guys think. And it's going to lead to a very interesting, you know, few shows with the New York Pro and Pittsburgh Pro being back to back from each other. With the lineups that are going to be competing there, what do you guys think the outcome is going to be? Is it going to be Ali Bilal, who just quiets the crowd, very similar to Ali did in this past year? You know, he actually delivered on what he said he was going to do. And then we have, you know, Brandon Hendrickson, you know, one of the best men's physique, I personally think the best men's physique athlete in the world, making a comeback, I'm sure more motivated than ever. All of this is going to be absolutely insane, man. And I'm telling you guys, this is going to be the most exciting year for the men's physique division. And I want you guys to understand what's about to take place. This is history. So like I said before, get your damn popcorn ready. And now that you are caught up on all things men's physique, I wanted to remind you guys that I'm opening up my roster spots for the very first time in over 2 months to take on one-on-one coaching clients who are interested in stepping on stage for the first time, getting nationally qualified, earning an IFBB Pro card, or potentially shutting it down and focus on putting on quality muscle. And if you're already a pro who's looking to be guided by somebody who's already been at those top levels, all you guys have to do is click the link in my bio and I will get back to you within the first 24 hours. This will not be an easy process. I can promise you that. But it will be a process that allows you to truly maximize your potential and get to the heights that you've always wanted to. So as always, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
I got my name in stone.